Ironheart is heating up with her first appearance and the Hood. And finally, Mephisto has made his appearance and making noise in the aftermarket. Over in Hollywood, Street Fighter casting news is throwing a Hadou kick at the buzz charts. And let's not forget Hyde Street's cereal box homage. Yeah, it got me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too. Let's get into the top trending comics you need to watch this week. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Izzy, and welcome to this week's top trending comics for the second week of July 2025. We have some amazing books that are scheduled, a lot of heat from previous TV series Ironheart, and some future excitement from stuff like Street Fighter. Surprisingly enough, no real Superman spec, even though this week is considered Superman week. It's a little weird, but we're going to talk a little bit more about what's actually making the trending list. And as you can see here, I mentioned Street Fighter, I mentioned the Hood and Invincible Iron Man, which both have to deal with the Ironheart TV series that just ended at Disney Plus. The other one here that you see here is Mr. Hyde Street, or Hyde Street, featuring Dr. Jelly and Mr. Peanut Butter, obviously an homage to the classic Count Chocula cereals. We'll talk more about that because I am excited to talk a little bit more about that one. But if this is the first time you are watching this, this is where I go over the list from CBSI, Key Collector, and Cover Price, and I combine them to create a consolidated top 10 list. I also look at the 30-day figures of sales that have happened, hype that comes along with it, fair market value, and the last recorded sales, and all that gives me a top 10 list, which you will be able to read in the Comic Crusaders article that'll be out just after this video it drops. So let's go ahead and take a look at some honorable mentions that are going to come out from this list. And our first one has to be Detective Comics 880, famous art by Jock featuring the Joker in an amazing piece that has been homaged. It has been all over the place. But more importantly, this book is hot simply because the original art piece sold for, I believe, $255,000. It is amazing. And that caused the stir of the comic book to go up in value. And people started grabbing the comic book because they saw the picture, they wanted the comic book, and they want to say they own it. There are some facsimile editions of this book. If you just like the cover, you can get the facsimile. You can get the virgin facsimile, which is just as good for a lot less of the cost. This book goes for about $500 right now. So it's quite an expensive book, but it's one worth having in your collections if you are indeed a Jock fan or a Joker fan or as a Detective Comic fan. Our other honorable mention is one that has some hype coming along. And this is a book that is a dollar bin book. It's Punisher #4 from the famous Marvel Knights series that came out. This is the first appearance of Mon Nucci. Mon Nucci is a crime boss. And when Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon was doing their relaunch of the Punisher, they utilized this character to be the crime boss that the Punisher is out to get. It is by far some of the funniest dark humor you ever read in a Punisher comic book. She's also responsible for bringing in the Russian. And more importantly, why it's on this list and why it's an honorable mention is simply because there's rumors that she will be the antagonist to the Punisher's series that will be coming out sometime next year. It's a special one-shot. So if she comes out, this book is going to definitely gain some momentum. As of right now, you can probably pick it up for less than $5. If you spend $10, you probably spend a little too much for this book. But keep that in mind, as this book's trajectory is going to go upward. Right now, it's just some news that came out. We don't know for sure. So don't overspend on this book. Our last book here is another book that comes from Ironheart, and that's Doctor Strange #1. This is the one that came out back in 2019, written by Jason Aaron with art by Chris Baccello. It features the first appearance of Zelma Stanton, who made an appearance in Ironheart. Another book that you could probably pick up at the cheap, less than $10, I will say. And will they use this character again in the future? I don't know. Is there a possibility that she'll be more important later on? I highly doubt that. So these are our honorable mentions. Let's go into our list already at number 10. At number 10 is that Hyde Street issue number 7. This is the 1 in 20 Sean Von Gorman cereal box homage. Sean Von Gorman's a friend of mine. He's from New York. I see him all the time. We hang out sometimes. We have a couple of drinks here and there. So he's a really good guy. This book came out from Image Comics in 2025. The last recorded sale of this book was $55 at a near mint. The most common fair market value of this book is $60. Currently, there is no recorded slabs, even though I do believe some people have already started sending them out. So we will be seeing some more slab editions of this book. As far as our trending list goes, it's number 9 in CBSI and number 5 for cover price. And the sales volume, 23 sales since it launched, really, because that's when this book is really brand new. It came out about 2 weeks ago. So you have 23 sales that have been recorded. The hype level's at a medium. This might be the last time we see this book on this list, unless another cover comes that we don't know about. I should reach out to Sean and ask him, hey, are you doing another cover? He'll probably tell me yes or no. But look out for Hyde Street number 7. I will let this book cool down for a little while before I pull the trigger on purchasing it. Because as of right now, $60 is high for a book that doesn't really have anything besides a cover homage. And with cover homages, you might want to proceed with caution. Right? At number 9 in our list is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 1. This book came out in 1984 from Marvel Comics. The last recorded sale was $13 at a no grade, which is really good price for a book. The most common fair market value of this book is $26 at a very fine. 9.8s go for about $261. This was only on one trendy list, and it was on cover prices number 8. And the sales volume is 54 sales. For that price, it makes sense that you get multiple sales for this book. Hype level is at a medium. This book has tremendous art by Mike Zeck, but really what makes this book important right now is that we recently lost an icon in the comic book industry in Jim Shooter, who wrote this title. He was a big force in Marvel in the 80s, responsible for the Black Symbiont suit. In the 70s, he was also a prolific writer as well. So this is pretty much paying respect to Jim Shooter's legacy. If you want to, you could go ahead and look through my videos. I do have a Jim Shooter legacy video coming out as well, and go collect. There will be an article coming up very soon. Probably within the next week or so, you should see the articles with different books that he's worked on and how he was involved in the comic book industry from a very, very early age. So rest in peace. You will be missed, Jim Shooter. Number 8 in our list is Mark Spears Monsters number 5. This is the New Mutants 98 homage variant. This also came with a trading card. When it comes to Mark Spears covers, of course, there is a fan base around it. This book came out recently from Keen Spot. Last recorded sale is $15. So this is one of the more affordable Mark Spears books because the fair market value is about $10. There are 9.8s already being sold for $58. And really, it came up in the CBSI number 2 trending list. Didn't make it to key collector, nor did it make it to cover price. 30-day sales, again, a lot of sales with 77 sales for this 30-day period. And the hype levels at a medium. I think when it comes to these Mark Spears covers, there's a fan base. They're going to buy them. Once they buy them, they're going to cool down. So if you like this homage to New Mutants 98, which I've seen a billion times with other covers, then this is the book for you. For me, I'm going to move on to the next book because, frankly, I get tired of seeing similar homages, and that's just me personally. Nothing against anyone who loves this work and who loves Mark Spears. So it's nothing against Mark Spears. It has everything to do with this cover homage for me. Moving our list, in number 7 is The Ghost Fleet #1. We talked about this book last week. This was very hot book that has an option. So that option is still available there. This book came out from Dark Horse Comics in 2014. Last recorded sales value is $26. Last week was about $14. So you can see here it nearly doubled in price. So people are starting to pick up. People are starting to spend more for this book. The most common fair market value right now is $20. There are no recorded slabs for this book. However, they're going to show up sooner or later, and you're going to start seeing sales. I will be cautious with this book because it's simply an option news. Donny Cates, Daniel Warren Johnson, great team, awesome work. You can see right from that cover, it kind of looks like Optimus, so you know where Daniel Warren Johnson's head was. But keep in mind, this is option news that we're not going to see anything for a few years at least. Or who knows, it might get fast-tracked, so you'll never know, of course. As far as trending list goes, it's #5 in CBSI, #1 in cover price. As you could see, cover price has these sales already numerated, and the 30-day sales is 32 sales for this book that was done in the secondary aftermarket. As far as the hype goes, the hype is high right now. A lot of people are anxious to know more about what is Ghost Fleet, and at its low cost, people are trying to grab it now before the price of this book goes up. I will let it cool off to where people don't talk about this book, and then I will pull the trigger in purchasing it. Because as option news goes, you're not going to get any new information for a while. So be on the lookout for Ghost Fleet. Do not overspend for this book right now. Our list is now going into #6, and that book is The Silver Surfer #3. Of course, the first appearance of Mephisto. Big buzz behind this character simply because of Ironheart. He finally made his appearance known with Sacha Baron Cohen. This book came out back in 1968 from Marvel Comics. It has a last recorded sale of $855 at an 8.0, which I think is a really good price for this book that was commanding 4 digits at one time. As far as the most common fair market value, you have $253 for a very good condition, while the average is 7.5 for $662. Kind of shocking it wasn't 666. I'm just saying. And as far as the trending list, it was #5 for Key Collector. It did not make it to CBSI's list. It did make it to the other top 10 of cover price. So from 11 to 12, it didn't make that list for cover price. As far as the sales go, this is remarkable for a book that's from the Silver Age that costs around $250 at its fair market value. 46 sales is very impressive for a book like this, which also gives it a hype level as a high. If you go online, all you're going to see is stuff about Mephisto. So everybody's talking about Mephisto. Everybody's curious to see what's next for the character. We cannot imagine that it's simply going to be about Ironheart. We will see him again. I'm certain of it. And let's move on to #5 in our list. And at #5, talking about Mephisto, now we got to talk about the other character from Ironheart, and that is the Hood. We have the first appearance of the Hood with the Hood #1. This book came out for the Marvel Max series in 2002, written by Brian King Vaughan, and Kyle Holtz did the artwork. But last recorded sale of this book is $35 near mint, and it's around the same price as the fair market value, which is $34. 9.8s go for about $190. And as far as the trending list goes, it was #7 for Key Collector and #6 for cover price. Again, now that the show is over, people are starting to grab this book. This book has been being picked up for a while now, but people are starting to grab this book. The show is now going to cool off unless people start going back to watch it, which I do think is going to happen for the next few weeks. People have heard things, heard the rumors, so they want to find out what's going on, and they will be seeing Ironheart in the next few weeks, I would say. 30-day sales, you have 39 sales of this book, which also gives it a hype level of high. Just like Mephisto, everyone's talking about Ironheart at the moment. And with that, the key antagonist of the show was the Hood, which made his first appearance in this comic book. At #4 in our list, it's Riri herself with Invincible Iron Man #9, her first full appearance of her. This book came out back in 2016 from Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale of this book is $26, and that was at a no grade. Chances are it's probably a near mint condition book or something like that, because the most common fair market value of this book is $32 at a near mint. 9.8s are going for about $138. This book did had high circulation, so therefore the actual cost of the book is not as high as you would think it should be, being that it is the first appearance of a major next gen character. But it is a book that people grab. Some people are not so keen about Riri Williams. Some people do enjoy her. The show came out. Therefore, this book has to be hot as a result of that. This book was on the trending list for key collector number 3 and for cover price at number 9. Last 30-day sales was 44 sales in the aftermarket. And of course, the hype level is at a high for anything Ironheart related. So be on the lookout for that one. I do believe, just like these other books, they're going to cool down as the show is now finished. It's behind us. Give it some time to rest. And then you could probably pull the trigger and get this book at you'll probably get a 9.8, maybe even at $100, I'll say. Number 3 in our list is Omega Men number 3. We haven't seen this book in a while. And Lobo, the main man, has made his return to the top 10 list. This book came out for DC Comics back in 1983. Last recorded sale was $49 at a 8.0. For the most common fair market value, $69 for near mint, $305 for 9.8. It's actually raised up in prices a little bit. But as far as the trending list goes, it's number 7 in cover price. And here's the kicker. 85 sales in the last 30 days. People are hyped for Lobo. People are hyped for Jason Momoa's rendition of Lobo. So therefore, this book hasn't really cooled off. It just hasn't been around. And people are grabbing this book as they come. It is a hot book. It will continue to be hot until the Supergirl movie comes out, which is a year from now. So I don't know what to tell you about this other than if you find a good deal for this book, it might be a good time to pick it up. If you see it at a price higher than what you see right now, you might want to hold on, because there's a lot of copies of this book. But the hype level right now is at a medium, because, again, this is probably the only DCU book in this list, and it's not a Superman-related title. It is a Supergirl-related title. So we're not going to see much with this book as of right now. Instead, hold on, or if you see it at a good price, grab it. At number 2 is a new book, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue 318. This is the 1 in 10 Portella camouflage variant featuring Storm Shadow. Now, for those of you who don't know, there is also a Snake Eyes version that came out about a month earlier. Didn't get it as much traction as this one, but I think the negative space here is definitely more vibrant than the Snake Eyes one was, because it also has the Snake Eyes symbol in the background. This book came out for Image Comics in 2025. It's a brand new book. Last recorded sale of this book was $60 near mint. Most common fair market value is $49 near mint. And yeah, 9.8s are already going for $100 for this book. As far as the trending list goes, it made it to all 3 trending lists. It was number 10 for Key Collector, number 4 for CBSI, and number 3 for cover price. Sales volume, 33 sales of this book. I'm a little surprised it wasn't more, but I'm pretty sure that the shops were selling them and they were going out the door. Therefore, I'm more convinced that there's more than 33 sales of this book. Hype level of this book is at a high. It made it to all 3 lists, guys, so therefore it has to be high as a result. And to wrap things up, our number 1 book for this week, Street Fighter number 1. Let's get to the logistics first. And it came out in Malibu Comics in 1993. This book has a last recorded sale of $8 at a very fine. Its most common is that $8, and it's $115 at a 9.8. So it's very affordable. As far as the trending list goes, it was number 1 for CBSI. It was number 2 for cover price. Sales volume, you have 30-day sales, and the hype level is at a high. So now let's talk a little bit about Street Fighter. So Street Fighter, a popular IP from the 90s. obviously from Street Fighter 2, the video game. All these characters, I love playing them when I was a teenager in high school. I'll play Ryu, I'll play Ken, Sagat, Chun-Li, Balrog. Well, news have been coming out almost like on a daily basis for this upcoming movie featuring so many new characters. So you have Roman Reigns and Akuma. You have rumors that Cody Rhodes is going to be playing Guile, and so many other characters. 50 Cent as Balrog, David Mazzucchelli as Bison. You name it, there's a lot going on. So the casting news for Jason Momoa as Blanca, that should be interesting. So the casting news keeps coming out. We keep hearing more news, and therefore there is so much hype behind the Street Fighter movie. We just keep hearing more news of this potential movie. What it's going to look like, what it's going to be. However, the comic book right now, which as you can see is a very affordable comic book. I picked this book up a few months ago at a con, and I just have it. I'm just sitting on it right now. I might even go send it out to get graded. It's a pretty solid copy. It is one of those books, man. It's just Street Fighter, man. There's nothing to it. It's just fun nostalgia. It's boiled down to, and it's the #1 book this week, guys. So there you have it. That's our list. What are your closing thoughts? Which books do you have? Do you have any of these books? Like me, I have a few of them. There's a few I do want to go ahead and grab as well. I want to give it some time so it could cool down. Also, share your thoughts in the comments. When you leave your comments, it helps the algorithm out. We like the likes, but I like the comments even more, and I will definitely respond to the comments. And of course, stay tuned for next week's ranking. This list is now going to be part of Comic Crusaders article. It will be in a Comic Crusaders article. So if you ever want to go back to look at the list, you're more than welcome. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And then I will see you at the next one, which is 30, 60, 90, which will debut this Friday. Be on the lookout for it. We'll see what books have made the list for that one. And with that said, I'll be seeing you soon. Until next time, Excelsior. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more comic content. Check out these other videos for even more insight, and I'll see you at the next one. Excelsior.